My name is Evelyn Brink and I coach entrepreneurs into their biggest possibility. I help audacious leaders to come alive. And I'm asking you, are you playing too small? One of my esteemed colleagues and friends was James Butler, who sadly passed away a few years ago, peacefully, but way too young. He was under 30. In the one conversation that we had about my business, I will always remember what he said because he shook me to the core. I was lamenting about how difficult I found it to really bring all this amazing work that I've been doing on myself into the world. I felt like a lot of things were failing. I just wasn't gaining the traction. I went on and on. And James said, "Do you know what, Evelyn? I'm glad things haven't worked out for you. I'm glad things haven't worked out for you, but they were way too small. You're meant for much bigger things. So think big, do that. Stop putting all your time and energy in all these small things. They're obviously not for you. They're not working out." I've been trained to think that if something isn't working out, that's probably because it's too much for you and you should bake smaller rolls, as we say in German. Your boots were too big, so try a size smaller. If you can't do that, like do step by step, go up, try less. So what James suggested was radical. Oh, I'm glad it didn't work out. It was too small anyway. Go bigger. How is that true? And then I reflected and found, well, every time I've done things that worked out really well for me, they've actually been big things, like top-down things. When I was 23, I went to New York. I had been kicked out of the University for Performing Arts in Berlin for not being the right type for musical theatre, and I felt pretty down and out. So yeah, part of me was like, oh, am I not good enough for the stage? I thought I was talented, I was confused, I don't know. And I went to Thailand and I had this vision, go to New York. I'm like, New York? You've just been kicked out of Berlin, but you want to go to New York? Yeah. Yes, I do. So I followed that voice and I took myself to New York. One day I realized I want to be on stage. So I went and took the time out and I looked for the most expensive place in New York. That was the Oak Room. I went there and I met the people in the Oak Room and this miracle unfolded for me where they greeted me and they were so friendly, said, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Oh, my name is Evelyn, I'm from Germany, I do cabaret." And they're like, "Oh, that's amazing, Evelyn, come on in. Are you here to see Barbara Brussels?" And I said, yeah, I'd love to, but student budget. In that moment she came in, "Hi!" And they said, "Hey, this is Evelyn from Germany. Hi, that's so great. You come to see the show?" I'm like, "I'd love to," but they said, "Oh, why don't you be my guest?" And so I was invited to see the show. They didn't even let me pay for my Coca-Cola. It was really wonderful. And then afterwards, it happened to be the night where all the creme de la creme from the cabaret scene was watching her. So she introduced me to all these amazing people. So I have started at the top. I have played big. And to cut a beautiful, long, amazing story short, I ended up putting up my show at the Firebird Cafe, which was called the best place to hear cabaret in New York City by the Village Voice. How does that happen? People work for years to try to get a chance in the Firebird Cafe. It all unfolded over this night of building connection and working on my craft. So I did start at the top, and that's what worked out well for me. I didn't try to do grimy little sets somewhere on the street to hopefully be discovered. No, I did go big, and that's what worked out for me. When I try to do small little things, often they just don't happen to work. So think big. What's the big for you? What is the big for you? And sometimes when we're young and naive, we don't have all the knowledge that can hold us back. Can you go back to that? It was pure desire. The calling to New York, pure desire. Go to New York. Because I listened to Barbara Streisand, it made me cry. Well, go to New York. Okay then, I'll go to New York. Why not? Like, what have I got to lose? Can we have more of that attitude again? You have nothing to lose. You're gonna die sooner or later. And before that happens, what would you love to create on this beautiful planet? What is possible for you? Right? So I don't mean to be macabre, but sometimes it's good to see that there is an end point. And so there's the freedom with that when we can see the reality of it. Yeah, we're all going to die. Fact. And some things don't work out. Fact. But if we never try, then nothing can fail. Like we need to be willing to fail. And personally, for me, that's been super challenging. I don't like failing. I like succeeding and telling you all about it. That feels good to me. But that is only possible if you're willing to go into the possibility of also failing, whatever that means. In the coaching training, my first coaching training, they said, there is no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. And I looked at it and I thought, yeah, sometimes the feedback though is that you just freaking failed. Why can't we be okay with that? It's all right. Michael Jordan teaches us that lesson. We said, I've missed so many shots in my life and that's why I succeed. So, James Butler said to me, I'm glad the things didn't work out because you were playing too small. Are you, by any chance, playing too small for yourself? What's your big? What's your wow? Where are your eyes shining? What if you stop being so practical about your next step and the next right thing and where you can go and looking at all these gurus telling you all the strategies that work for them? What if you allowed yourself to find your magic? To find that light in your eyes, that aliveness. What if we could be guided by our own energy and allowed more of this unfolding of life through this wonderful, wonderful quality of life that you have when you are in your flow, that you have when you are in your excitement, that you have when you are in this uniqueness of you. When you have that uniqueness of you know exactly what I mean. It just feels incredible. That's it. No 6, 7, 8-figure business can give you that. It starts with you being willing to express yourself. Express yourself. Be free to be fully you. Use your hands if you're a hand person, or your hair, or whatever you want. Express yourself. Be you in the world. And then let's see what comes back from that and create your magic with your magic. Yay! It sounds so fluffy and I love it. I hope you found this super useful. Check out my Instagram where I post regularly really beautifully curated articles and images if you're the visual type like I am. And if you'd like to get inspired regularly, sign up on my website to my weekly inspiration. And I'd be so delighted to serve you with that. We all need the uplift from each other. I look forward to creating more magic with you.